Welcome to the Real Deals Real Estate Podcast, where you'll learn about buying and selling homes and how to invest in real estate. Now, here's your host, Donald Torrence of 𝐒𝐴VE Real Estate.
Good day, everybody. This is Donald Torrance back at you with another episode. I am a real estate investor based out of Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. Been investing for 30 years and just sharing some of the experiences and think my thoughts on real estate investing. Joined today with Cynthia. Cynthia, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Cynthia Ware. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and that's where I bought my first house. At 19 years old, I bought a HUD house while I was in college. And my best friend's boyfriend was a general contractor who I was tickled pink while he was like, what cabinets you want in your kitchen and how you want your floors. And I was just tickled pink that I rehabbed the house and lived in it without needing to pay any more rent or mortgage while I went to college. And did that again about a year and a half later, and then did it again another 6 months. And then I went to medical school. So my name is also Dr. Cynthia Ware in internal medicine, retired, period. I had to put retired, period, behind that. And I am now a residential redeveloper investor.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Yes.
So today I wanted to talk about the pitfalls of being a landlord. Uh, I saw this
Ooh.
I saw this YouTube video and it kind of touched my heart a little bit. Reason
Mm.
being, I'm gonna share the a little small clip of it, but uh, as a new investor, you don't know what you don't know, so you make a lot of the mistakes that most new investors make when they start doing being a landlord. So I want to play this clip and then we can talk
You're,
about it.
you're correct. You're
Yeah.
correct about that, Donald.
Yeah, and it get kind of rough too as a landlord.
Okay. And so when you get done with that clip, we had a real event last night. I'll
Mm.
share that.
Okay.
I ask you to leave because you did not pay your rent. Ask you to leave my house. I wasn't evicting you. I didn't want to even put an eviction on your record. I just asked you to leave my house and you do this shit? Like, because I asked you to leave my house and you wouldn't leave, talking about Timmy, you gonna have to take me to court. You do all this though?
Wow.
So it's a long
Wow.
video. Technical difficulties, still computers.
It is.
So that was just a short, it's a longer video. It's about a 2 minute video. This guy what's sad about it is he was helping this lady out that he moved into his house and he said he actually asked her just take care of his place, keep it clean, and just maintain it.
Mhm.
He made mention in the video at some point that he even gave her loaned her $2,000 at one point to help her out
Mm.
because she was struggling a little bit. So, I don't that sound make me wonder if they had a little bit more of a relationship that I would give a tenant $2,000. I ain't giving a tenant none of my money. What's the point of me being a landlord and you gonna give your tenant the money?
If you gonna pay their rent, that's what
Right,
I call it.
right.
I'm paying their
So,
rent now.
and it made me question it. But the sad part about it is things like that happen to people all the time when they start being a landlord. They don't have policies and procedures in place to help
Yeah.
protect them. There's you can do all the screening you want you still wind up with a bad tenant here and there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I had 137 rentals. Out of the 137 rentals, I had two bad tenants. One set my house on fire. The other one, basically used my because she was a Section 8 tenant, and back in the 90s, you had to fill out all the forms and stuff. So, and at that time, I didn't know no better about putting your personal properties in your personal name. So she had all my personal information to turn it into Section 8, and she turned all the utilities on in my name. And when she moved, it was I think the gas bill was like $1,800, some outrageous number. And I said, why would they not turn the gas off with a gas bill that high? And she had all the utilities, water and everything was in my name. So I had to
Hmm.
fight to get that squared away and show I wasn't a tenant at that time. They got me a break, discounted some of the utilities. But I didn't do no screening. I didn't do anything as far as checking background or anything like that because I was a new investor. That was 95. I just didn't know no better. So this gentleman seems like he didn't have anything in place himself.
Hmm.
They destroy. I mean, when you see the whole video, I'm gonna make sure we put the clip to that video in the description,
Hmm.
so somebody can actually click on the full video. But I just think it's bad when you get in and you don't have a mentor or a coach to actually guide you along as a new investor, and you wind up
Hmm.
going through situations like that. Uh,
Yeah.
so,
So what you're talking about that when I was 19 years old, after I bought my second one, I moved into the second one because it was in a better neighborhood. It was a smaller house, right?
mm,
And me and my fiance at the time, he ended up being my husband. We put a lady who said she had returned back to Detroit from California, her in living in a shelter.
mm,
She was living in a shelter and she had four beautiful kids, and they were in the shelter. Okay, she didn't have no money, and somehow she felt our ad, right?
mm,
And so my now my husband, not my husband at the time, but I'm just going to tell you, he's a law enforcer,
mm,
right? And so he's like, let's get them in, get them kids out of the shelter. Let's get them in. They filled the application, and then boom, behind her became a man,
mm.
a man.
Always, it always.
Hmm. And I remember so vaguely just telling my fiance at the time, wait a minute, this lady got family here. She got family here. Why can't she live with her family? Why is she in a shelter?
Yeah.
And
Red
he said,
flags. Red
yeah,
flags.
yeah. And so he just went right past that and said, Cynthia, it really doesn't matter. Let's get those kids. Let's get her kids out of the shelter. Let's get her in the shelter. So we met with her and the man, okay? I believe the lease went in her name, not his name wasn't on it, right?
Mm,
And he lived in the house, and she was on payment plan for the security deposit, right? On the payment plan, this is all the money we got to move in, and we were supposed to be working something out for 3-4 months, right? And
mm.
it went breach, you know what I'm saying? It went default, and now we're in a meeting now of you guys are behind on the rent, right? And we don't really want to put you out. You got your kids here. So we found out in the meeting the kids weren't going to school. Now that
Mm.
that was rare back then. That's
Wow. Yeah.
the kids don't go to school. And that became a concern for me. This lady had her kids in shelter. Now she got these 4 beautiful kids. They're not in school. Because back then in those days, Donald, there was something called the school,
Truant officer.
yes, truant officers, the
Yeah.
school truant officers. Where's the school truant officers? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, we did finally get to a point to have to say, you got to move. You guys got to move. We come up with we don't want the money. Got to move. So
Right.
they did finally move, but they tore our house up too. We had holes in the walls. They plugged up the sinks and ran the water over in the kitchen, in the basement, in the bathrooms. Um, it was not nice. It was my first time being bruised like that, right? It was my first house
Right.
that I bought. And we didn't have things in place. But each time you get bruised, your lease becomes longer and tighter.
Right.
Longer and tighter. And I tell you, one of the things that I learned I learned 2 things. I'm not a good manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a good manager. There's going to be problems in people's lives, right?
Right.
And I didn't go into the business to pay somebody else's rent because they have problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our cars is down. Our mother was sick, and we had to help her pay her help with medications. One medicine cost $600. She didn't. Her insurance wouldn't pay it. All those stories, right? And they're real life issues.
Right.
But the thing is that I didn't go into renting to be a nonprofit making no profit.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I just didn't.
Right.
And I learned from that I need to get myself out of the way as the manager. I just need to get myself out of the way. And some real significant issues as the owner or the CEO needs to come to me. But that little stuff, I had to sit down and tell a newlywed couple, maybe you need to start off with one of you all's parents saving money. Because ever since you moved in, you can't pay the rent by the 1st or the 5th every month. And oh man, the wife was mad. She was smoking. I saw smoke coming out of her nose. Woo! And I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but this is a unnecessary stress. And this is when I used to get emotional. I used to get emotional when the rent wasn't being paid, right? And then they not calling you. And so now I got to call you.
Yeah.
That's just, I do better having a management company, good, because there's some bad management companies.
Absolutely.
A good, responsible management company do pick up my rent and take care of the property. Okay, take care of the property.
And that 10%, and that 10% they charge, or 8%, whatever you negotiate with them, it's worth the peace of mind and your freedom.
It is.
So a lot of people just look at that. Oh, I'm gonna give you 10%, and I'm only collecting $2,000 a month. So that makes my mortgage is 1,500. So you taking two, and I'm only left with three. Those little $200 is worth the freedom that you have. You just need to get more properties. That's all. Now
well, and I'm just the other thing I learned from that experience is you got to walk your property or either hire a responsible individual to walk your property with a list.
Yeah.
You got to have a list. Every room. Check. That stuff is staying together in the house. And if it's not together, I mean, you got somebody else opening up your kitchen cabinets, making sure the damn door don't drop.
Right.
It's you just got to do it because they don't take care of your house like you would.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is an important factor, because having those inspections are important. You also want to do a move-in inspection so they can actually see that my place is in good shape.
Yes.
Make them sign off on a move-in inspection to say, hey, this is the condition that the property's in. You're
Yes.
aware that the property's in this condition. So if you did you do get that bad tenant where you have to take them to court, you have something that they acknowledge that the place was in good condition.
Yes.
And don't let
So
them tell you, give me a couple of days and let me go through it, and a couple of days turn into a couple of weeks and then turn into a couple of months and you never get it.
yeah, this how I do it. This is how I start doing it. Okay, we gonna do this lease. I start doing the lease at the house. No,
Mm,
we're not coming to no office. We not no. We coming at the house. Here's the lease. I read the lease to them.
mm,
And I'm recording it.
okay.
I didn't read the lease. I didn't know it was it. I'm reading the lease to you, and I'm recording it. And
Right.
then I'm recording this part of the lease where I'm giving you the inventory of the house. It's every room.
Mm,
And I don't put we walk through every room on the recording. What I record is that, okay, you see, we're going to walk through. I'm talking to the video. We're going to walk through the house with the inventory, and it's going to grade the condition of the house.
mm,
And then she's going to sign it. And I never had a tenant say, "Oh, I gotta go. I can't do it. Here's your money. And I signed your lease." I never had them do it. I never had a tenant say, I don't have time to do that because I got to get back to work."
right.
We make sure you got this going to take at least an hour to sign the lease, go over the lease, exchange your money, and walk through the house. And see, they had no idea that walk through the house is all the electrical plugs work, all the ceiling fan work. The door has no. If I had a nice door that had windows, right? Now all of them are intact, not cracked. Right, the
Right.
door opens and closes. She checks all of them. She checks all that stuff while we walking through. Because I used to leave. Okay, I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to. You got 2 weeks to do it, and you're going to sign here. If I don't turn it in, I'm stating that all contents on this list is in excellent shape, and she signs that and give that to me. That's mine.
Mm, okay.
That's mine. You get the one that you got to fill out, right? Both
Okay.
of them are the same, but she's signing. And ever since I started doing that, I haven't got not one. I hadn't repeated that thing where they tore up my house.
Okay.
Tore up my house. Now they might have left a bunch of damn trash in there, some dog doo doo when it wasn't even supposed to have a dog. Okay, now I
Mm,
got some dog poop in the house. It's a cleanup issue opposed to they actually tore up some stuff. Ever
yeah.
since I started doing that, it changed how I got my house back.
Right. And
And
I
then
wonder if
cleaning up
he
crap is just.
right. I wonder if
Hmm.
he even had a lease in place, or was it one of those Office Depot leases that he used? Uh,
Mm,
did he run a background check on this person? Was it somebody he knew? Uh,
hmm.
I would never rent to nobody I know. Family's definitely a no-no
Yeah.
to rent to, and
Oh,
just
you can't just say that and not get a story. What's
yeah,
the
yeah,
story? Why wouldn't you rent to? Same here. Same
yeah,
here.
yeah. I've
If I
moved.
rented to a family member, I'm expecting a little problem or two. I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just being honest.
absolutely. Even friends, you're gonna expect because here's their mentality. I know or you ain't paying much on a mortgage, or why should I pay you? This place a dump. They gonna come up with a million
They
excuses.
and
But why
most of
you
it is
move in here?
they
Why?
count your money.
Right. Why you in my place and now you don't want to pay me?
Hmm.
So the if you don't want to tarnish the relationship that you have with somebody,
That's
just tell
right.
them, personally, I don't rent to friends or family, and it's because I want to keep my relationship, and I just don't mix business with family and friends.
Yeah.
That's or you know what, talk to my management company, see if you get approved, because why you can't
Yeah.
go somewhere else, why you coming to me to ask me for a place? So
Yeah.
see if you get approved. I don't have anything to do with that part of my business. It's a management company that takes care of it. I send you over to them, and if you get approved, then they consider letting you in. But it's other applicants on the unit, and it's a first come first serve. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
calling that management company. Hey, I'm sending Joanne to you. Do not rent them my place. So I make them the bad guys. So you that way you not you don't have to worry about the relationship of falling apart or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would be curious to know what he had in place. On one section of the video, somebody must have commented that he did an insurance job, and this was the scary part when he said, "Ain't no insurance. I gotta pay for this out of my pocket." When he said that, why would you not have insurance on your rental? And I've learned from having a place catch fire because the tenant set it on fire. And she set it on fire because I told her I told her she had to get out. She said, "Give me my security deposit and I'll move out." I said, "You get your security deposit back once you move out, and none of
Mm-hmm.
your stuff is in my place." And it's broom swept. Uh, that same day I asked her that night it's on fire. That same day I
Mm.
told her that night is on fire.
Mm.
And she tried to make it look like it was a fire from the stove. They wound up doing an investigation and saw that the gas was turned off. There's no way she could have had a fire from the stove. Insurance company didn't want to cover it, but I hired an adjuster, and we wound up getting it covered and getting the place redone. And I just said, "Okay, this one got to go." So that was just too big of a house to be rented to me. With what I do now with rentals, I would have kept it, but it was a 6 bedroom, 2 bath house, 2.5 bath house, which a house that big and you rent it to a family, they moving other people in. Uh,
Okay.
so for a family to have a house that big is not a good idea to do to any for that purpose of them going to move someone else in. You
Okay.
don't know who's in there. So
Yeah.
so the inspection part, when you're doing the inspection, you need to have it in your lease. We're doing inspections. We coming in doing inspection. And if you taking care of your place, because we do exterminations every month. So the exterminator should be telling you, "Hey, this unit dirty, that one's dirty." They should be letting you know when you got problems in your places as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So with you doing inspections, the exterminator going in telling you something's wrong, you got a lot of eyes on your place to actually help maintain it to that way you will catch something.
Yeah.
And most of the times people be like, "Oh, I got clothes and stuff all over, it's wash day." I don't care about that. What I want
Mm-hmm.
to see is your bathroom and your kitchen.
And your refrigerator.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Gotta see
So
refrigerator.
yeah, because those are going to tell me if you maintaining my property. Clothes bin, you might come to my house and I got some clothes on the floor, but that don't
Mm-hmm.
that don't mean that my house is junky nasty.
Nasty.
Right.
Nasty.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can walk those and get a good feel on how your place is being maintained just off the kitchen and the bathroom. Because and I hate to say it this way, but a woman is the one who mostly chooses their place, and a woman is the one who's actually gonna maintain it and keep it up. If you go in a place in the bathroom, you got scum on the shower walls, and the sink is got toothpaste where somebody spit toothpaste all over it, and the toilet is another color from being white. You know that your whole place is like that. If you
Mm-hmm.
go in and your stove has got grease all over and there's grease running down the side of it, you know your whole place is like that, and you need to violate them on the lease from cleanliness and give them 5 days. If they don't comply, then you need to get them out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's why I only invest in landlord friendly states. Like
Mm-hmm.
Illinois is not a landlord friendly state, so if I'm going to hold a property, I would not hold it in Illinois. because the eviction process may take me to a year or two. So I just
Wow, that's
people
crazy.
when people know how to play that game with the landlords, they'll be in your place and you just losing
I
every
call them professional tenants.
absolutely.
Professional tenants. And I ran into a professional tenant. Sure
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
And she played it. She played me well about month number 3. And okay, we get ready to do this thing. So she
Mhm.
paid the rent. Okay, because I'm getting ready to evict you. I learned to put that 30-day ladder on that door. No matter what you communicating to me, you
Mhm.
getting a 30-day ladder because you got in Detroit, Michigan, you got to do 30-day ladder. You got 30 days to pay the rent. And if you don't, we're moving, we're progressing to eviction.
Mhm.
Okay, so then even if I get that conversation, hey, I only got half of it, I only got 25% of it, blah blah blah. And then I start doing something different on that. I don't remember because my sister was involved with me with managing. There's last management. She was it. But the 4th month, we evicted her. You
Mhm.
you getting up out of here. And somewhere through the eviction, I fired my first lawyer because he was a negotiator, right? Just
Oh,
let's
okay.
negotiate this on out. You could get 25 cents on the dollar. I'm looking at his ass. Excuse me. I'm looking at his rear end. Like, are you serious? And he said, Cynthia, you just act like you got an attitude. You just don't like her. I said, it has nothing to do with whether I like her or not. She had a responsibility as a tenant to pay the rent. And
Right.
I'm just looking at one thing. I want her out. So he's trying to negotiate her to get back in to pay the rent, get back in and she can rent. I said, no, no.
Yeah.
This is a person I don't want as a tenant.
Right.
She's
Right.
already shown me really in the 2nd month. She showed me in the 2nd month as a tenant. I'm gonna play this. And so I don't have the money. She already started that.
Yeah.
So this is not somebody I want as a tenant.
Mhm.
But anyway, I end up evicting her. I got in front of the judge. She didn't have a lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer. And that judge said, both of you all don't have a lawyer. She put it, what it called? Contingent. She she
Yeah.
she she rescheduled. But this girl showed me she was a professional tenant because she had that whole conversation ready for the judge. I don't have no money. I lost my job. I this and I that. I need a and she already knew the free lawyers was inside the courtroom,
Mhm.
inside the courthouse. So she went in there. I'm sitting outside of that office with my attorney. My attorney went in there to talk to him, and I said, "Come out and ask. I want to know how many times she's been in there. I need that number. How many times have she been in that office?" And so her last eviction, she was in that office. The last one before that, they said, "Oh yeah, we know her. She was a professional tenant, professional."
Mhm.
I felt sorry for her kids. She had 2 children. One of them was of that age where she's trying to process things going on, and she
Mhm.
was like 6, 7 years old. I felt sorry for that child because every 4 months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe she got 6 months out of somebody, right?
Right.
But I was on top of her stuff. You getting evicted? Well, I give you some money in 3 weeks. I don't give a damn how much money you give. I I'm evicting you. I want you out of my property, and you can make this easy or you can make it hard. And so I changed the locks on her when she didn't come to court.
Mhm.
She didn't come to court. I changed the locks. Boom, it's over. Right? There's enough people around the house that know me. They knew when she was coming, going, when she was there, when she wasn't there. And so while we was in court, she didn't come to court.
Mhm.
And so I called. I said, "Hey, is she there? Is she at the house? She's not at the house either." I said, "Okay." Soon as I got out of court, I know how to change locks. I had the locks all in my car. I changed the locks on the door. Now she can't get in. Okay. Now you gonna go back to court and say, I locked you out. You didn't come to court on your court date. She didn't have no more rights. But something happened. 4 or 5 days, I get a call from my new attorney and said, I don't know what happened, Cynthia. This usually don't happen, but we got another court date. I said, what you mean we got another court date? She said, I don't know what this girl went in and said to the clerk of the court, but the judge gave her another court date. I said, I be darned. And so she came back and said she had some emergency and she had to catch up money. We had another court date. She had to catch up money, but she did not let her back in the house. And I hadn't thrown her stuff out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had it all at the door in the box. And so I told the judge, I said, she left the house a mess. She didn't get the house a mess. We got all her contents in 3 large boxes, and we have not put them at the curb yet. And so I said, I'll let her come in the house and take them, or I'll put them on the porch, right? She can get her contents. So she didn't come get them. They was on the porch, and then they went from the porch to the curb, and she came to the curb 6 o'clock several times, 6, 7 o'clock, getting her stuff out of those boxes what she wanted. And I just really, really felt bad for her girl, her daughter, that was now beginning to process that something's not right here, because we keep getting evicted out of houses. Her mother was just irresponsible, very, very irresponsible.
Yeah. And one of the things I've learned too over time is when you're moving somebody in as a tenant, you want to make sure that they have the utilities because from me going through it,
Yeah,
you want to make sure that they have the utilities turned on in their names and not their
yeah.
children name. So you need to ask them for the copy of the letter that the utility companies give you that
Okay.
says you turned on utilities in your name. So you need to bring that with you in order for you to get these keys. You can sign the lease, but until we get those documents showing that the utilities has been transferred in your name, you can't get the keys.
Interesting.
So,
Nice. Okay.
so that's to protect you on, and that's to make sure that they're not using a children name, and it's to make sure that they actually turn the utilities on and they're able to turn the utilities on because some people are not able to turn them on because they got
That's
a
true.
bill somewhere else and they can't
That's
turn them
true.
on. So that's an important part when you move in. And one thing I used to do, I didn't do the landlord verification too much because I wanted to see how you was living. So I used to all the people who I rented to was pretty proximity to wherever the place was. So I would pull up. They knew that I was going to come and do a home inspection. I will pull up and call them in front of their house and say, "Is this a good time to do the inspection?" If they told me no, come back on this date because now you need time to clean up. So now I'm going to say, nope, we went and found somebody else. We did the inspection. You got disqualified for it because we couldn't get that inspection done. So that's how I also eliminated people. One thing too, when they come to your property to look at it, walk back outside with them, look in a car, see how their car is being maintained. If they car junky nasty, your place gonna be junky nasty. So those are also tell time signs that what kind of tenant you're gonna get. And you could do all the screening that you want. It doesn't mean you're not gonna get a bad tenant.
That's true.
So you can't people put on a good presentation when they want something. Uh,
Yes.
so after they get it, they have a tendency of saying, "I got what I want. Screw you. Don't care." Even with me running group homes, we had a 68-year-old lady, sweetest lady ever. But, whoo, was she terrible. If I showed you the pictures of how she left her room, because they rent rooms from us, if I showed you a picture, and it was my fault because that we gave her time because we told her she had just paid her rent. She was an older lady. We just didn't want to put her back out on the streets because we can put you out in like that same day. So we wanted to give her time to get her find a place and get her stuff together, and we shouldn't have did that. And we paid the cost for it because she left her room in a mess. But it was a room. Can you imagine if it was the whole house? She would have destroyed the house. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, she left the dresser and the TV. She cracked the TV screen. She just left the room in a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
learned from
and
that to never do that again too.
yeah.
If
And
we
the
putting you out,
unfortunate
you got
part
to go that day.
that's the unfortunate part is that karma will follow her.
Yeah,
And you won't see it maybe, but that might be why she has the hardship in her life, right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So since we were talking about utilities, another thing that I learned when I was in Detroit, okay, the water bill is not considered. The water bill is a challenge utility, right?
Mhm,
But in Detroit, you can tell your tenant, or you can have the paper. You can
mhm.
have the paper. It's where it's called an affidavit. And they fill it out saying, I'm responsible for that water bill.
Okay.
You tell them, take it down, and now I want to see that paper sealed that water bill is in your name.
Mm,
Now, that's their water bill. Don't forget, when you get moved, even if you get evicted, you turn that off,
yeah.
you know, because that's in your name. Where for years they would not let the landlord take that water bill out of their name.
Mm,
But there is a special affidavit form that they can fill out. Yeah, it's so many. I think there's so many characters uh, in renting to tenants. Like I'm in transition, headed to Alabama from Georgia.
mhm,
Okay. And I found this used to be a hotel, and they've converted it to efficiency. They did a great job remodeling this place. I mean,
mhm,
it is very nice. And when I seen it, I just told the guy, I said, "You guys did a great job. This is nice, right?"
mhm.
And yesterday, no, Sunday, I'm washing my dishes, right? Because they got little kitchenettes here. I'm washing
Uh-huh.
my dishes and I'm hearing blur, 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 blur. Oh, I was
Drains
like, what's that
clogged.
noise?
Yeah.
Blur, 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 blur. I said, oh, what's that noise? Let me follow that noise. And so my toilet is bubbling. Blur, 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 blur.
Mm.
So, okay,
So
let
you
me keep.
washing dishes in the kitchen and your bathroom is backing up. So
Well, it
that's
ain't backed up. It ain't backed up yet, but it's letting me know we may have a problem here.
yeah.
So a couple hours later, went to use the restroom, flushed the toilet. It didn't flush. It went
Mm,
it went the opposite way. And I was
mm,
like, oh my goodness. Now it's 10 o'clock. The manager is here on grounds. So she has this policy. Don't come knock on my door. Don't come ring the bell. Text me. So I text
mm,
her, hey, you won't? I think we might have no problem here. My toilet's not flushing. Let me know. Let me know you got this text. Well, I didn't get no signal back from her.
mm.
So she sleep. This ain't no emergency. I'm not gonna knock on the door. But
Right,
I
right.
did see her the next morning, and I said, "Hey, my toilet flushed this morning, but it sure didn't yesterday night. But it flushed this morning. But all of a sudden, as the day went on, it was backing up in two other people's place. Right?
Mhm.
Let me see. I think this little building here has 6 people, 6 or 8 people in it.
Okay.
Just some of them have a room and a half, really. Um, but I got a nice little room with a efficiency, a kitchenette area, and a bathroom in the closet. Is really nice, and and my toilet kept flushing, but somebody else's wasn't. So when I went to the office, she was saying that the owner was coming because there is a plumbing problem with the septic tank. It's a problem with our little unit. And everybody else's units over here and over there, they're not having a problem. Shoot, that water backed up.
And you know what happens a lot of times when people go in and I broke it down in a video on YouTube, when you see these galvanized pipes, and I talked about it. I always talk about it because you thinking because you changed everything inside, but what's in those walls? If you don't tear out nothing
Yeah,
but your kitchen and bathroom walls
yeah,
to take all that galvanized piping out, you're doing yourself a favor if you do it. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't, because you're going to have problems because those old pipes scale, they have buildup on them, they have old corrosion in them, and you start seeing white spots on them. Those white spots are where the pipes are eventually going to rot through, and you're going
okay.
to have leakage through them. So you better off just taking all that stuff out. Why spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a renovation and you don't change that out? It
You
makes no
don't
sense.
change your 75-year-old pipe.
Right, right,
You don't
right.
change your 85-year-old pipes. You got to change them, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's important to know when you doing renovations to rent to tenants, because they gonna throw. I've seen people flush diapers down a toilet. And for the
That's what
life
the
of me, I'm
problem.
like, how do you get a diaper to go down through this toilet like this to clog up the main drain?
That's crazy.
But some people don't know that they shouldn't do that. These things they call disposable wipes, they're not disposable. They don't break down. They sit in the drain, and if you got tree roots anywhere in your that clay pipe that's in the ground, the old clay pipes, if the your community hadn't went through an infrastructure redevelopment where they actually changing out all the piping, you got this old clay pipe in the ground, and that stuff catches those wipes until it just builds up and then clog your main up. So you have to put stuff like that in uh your rental agreement. Don't flush grease. Don't pour grease down the drain. Don't put disposable wipes. Don't do diapers. Don't do. You got to be a bunch of don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because some of these people just don't know,
yeah,
and if nobody ever told them, they just don't have a clue on
yeah. So what he captured yesterday was the dinner napkins. You know those thick dinner napkins that you put
it.
out for formal affairs.
Yeah,
He said, "What is this? This is a thick dinner napkin." So somebody, one of his tenants,
yeah.
was just
Using them and flushing them
But
down.
how about that? And
Yeah,
instead of just putting it in the garbage.
yeah,
And so that's another little thing that I just been thinking about though, Donald, is that as you as you really work hard to make a place comfortable for a tenant, so, to a place that you could live in it, right?
mhm,
And then they just matter of fact your place,
right,
right? You did all the things that you needed to do. That when you show them, dang, this is going to be a comfortable place for someone to live in.
right.
And then they just kind of matter of fact your place. Just take some hot grease and put down the sink and dinner napkins,
Right.
because they was thick when he.
Mhm.
When he pulled them out, he said, "Look how thick this is. This is
Yeah.
clotted. This is our problem." And
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that's part of renting
Yeah. Yeah.
that costs you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the costs end up going back on the tenant.
Yeah.
The tenants, one
Yeah.
person, the tenants, the
Yeah.
rent's going up.
Yeah. And was it's the sad part about it is people don't think about it like that. Even though rents skyrocket and went out of control, uh, but you got to keep in mind, part of this is you doing stuff to destroy other people's property. I have
Yes.
that cost got to get passed somewhere. So
Yes.
it get passed on to the tenants. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and now with Trump shutting off the Section 8 for people who's been on for more than 2 years, coming in 2026, there's going to be a lot of people struggling to try to get into housing. So a lot of landlords who don't have policies and procedures in place are going to take those individuals and not knowing what they're actually jumping into. And there's going to be a lot of homeless people too added
Yeah.
to that pot
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but as a landlord, as a new landlord, you need to find somebody who you can talk to, ask questions, and try to actually become more familiar with what the process is of being a landlord, as opposed to just winging it on your own. Because that's what I did. I didn't have anybody telling me back in '95 what I needed to do to screen. And keep in mind, I say this and I should have known better because I'm a building engineer and I'm working in high rises where we are dealing with tenants on a daily basis, but I covered all the mechanicals in this high rise. And you figure I had been a building engineer since '88, so I should have known better going into the field, but I quickly learned the processes because I saw the reward that I was getting. And this is not to scare. We're not doing this to scare anybody away from being a landlord. It's to make you aware of what the challenges are as being a landlord. And that's why I only invest in landlord state friendly states. Indiana,
Mhm.
our eviction process is 2 to 3 weeks and you out. If I don't like you as a tenant, I could go hire my attorney and say, "Hey, me and this tenant just not getting along. We just don't see eye to eye, and I'm just not comfortable with them in my property anymore." Get them. He's going to send them a notice telling them that they in violation of their lease. It's going to be some clause in there because he created my lease. So it's going to be some clauses in there that he can use to actually to actually cancel their tenancy.
Mhm.
Once he filed that motion, the date that they file a motion, that probably 3 or 4 days later, the sheriff is serving them their notice. We get our court date. We go into court. They being evicted. You could get Indiana. They evict you on Christmas and Thanksgiving Day. They don't care about that.
Mm.
That's why
Mm.
I like landlord friendly states because Illinois, if it's below 35, I think it's 35 degrees, all evictions stop. No evictions
Yeah.
during wintertime.
So
Uh,
I think Detroit's the same way. I'm not really sure they evict. When I was sitting in the court, they really tried to work with the tenants, right?
mm,
And so I don't. You got to have been a very irresponsible tenant over and over in the court. They didn't ask you to come. You came late. It just over and over for you for you to be told don't return back to that house on Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving. Um, um, I'm not sure what Michigan is considered tenant friendly. What I've seen that they usually try to work with the tenant, give that tenant a little bit of time to get, but you're gonna end up hitting that date that you
mhm.
don't go back in that house
Right,
because
right,
guess
right.
what, the sheriff's gonna take you out, right?
Yeah,
They're gonna take everything you got in that house out and take you out of there too. With some guns.
yeah,
With some guns.
yeah.
Right?
I wish I could have talked to this guy and find out more of his story as to why did he rent to this person, what made him feel that they was a good tenant for him? What was the process he did? Uh, what kept him from keeping insurance on his place? That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You figure the cost per month for the insurance, as opposed to the cost for him replacing all the windows and redoing his flooring,
Mm-hmm.
cabinets being replaced. He basically doing a renovation to the property again.
Mm-hmm. Out of
So
pocket. Out of
yeah,
pocket. You got to finish that sentence.
yeah. So when you look at his cost, was it really worth not having the insurance? Uh,
Okay, so I'm gonna come to his defense on the one thing. When I first started, the insurance company wanted me to pay all annual upfront. Now, once I had that relationship with them, I can do either quarterly or I can do monthly. But
mm,
that very first time I did the insurance, so he may not have had the money.
mm,
And he may have been in a city like Detroit. Detroit at one time only had pretty much one darn insurance company that
mm,
was brave enough to say, we coming in there to insure this stuff.
mm,
Everybody else say we don't insure Detroit. We don't
mm,
insure Detroit. Detroit is changing now, right? It's gentrifying. It was in bankruptcy. They had over they had over 1 million houses in the county of Wayne decapitated. I mean,
mm,
they were condemned. I'm sorry, I call them human rats. They went
mm,
in those houses and tore them houses up.
mm,
They tore them up. Anything while they was going in there, if they touched it and it came loose, they was yanking it out of the floor, the wall. They
mm,
tore those houses up unnecessarily, and a lot of them became condemned, right,
mm,
and needed to be demolished.
mm. And you know what's crazy? Because Gary still has a bad stigma of Gary, Indiana has a bad stigma of it's a because it once was one of the highest murder capitals in the city of
Mm-hmm.
so but you can put a property on the market in Gary that needs to be torn down for
Mm,
$40,000. That property under contract in 3 days. So every place now has been going through a redevelopment process, and you see the change. You see how Gary's starting to rebuild, and I'm quite sure Detroit because I'm seeing stuff that Bill
mm-hmm.
Gates is actually Warren Buffett. I'm sorry, Warren Buffett is actually buying high rises in Detroit right now, uh,
Mm,
where he's buying for I think he just bought something for like $500,000, but this is a probably a $15 million property once it's brought back to life.
mm,
So they're raising people like him, Warren Buffett and Zillow and Redfin. They're raising capital to go into these areas to buy these
mm-hmm.
distressed properties, and they
Mm-hmm.
are buying them by the bulk. They said
Yeah.
by 2030 or 2036 or 35 or something like that, that these big companies like that are going to own 48% of the market.
Mm,
So they're raising money to actually do that. Uh,
mm,
so they seeking people, everyday people, to get to tap into their IRAs and they savings accounts or whatever they have money sitting, and giving them like 8% interest on their money to borrow their money to actually buy these type of investment properties.
mm-hmm.
So Detroit, Gary, you're going to see a huge change in
Mm-hmm.
the area, and it's coming
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
So
they
much
revitalized
redevelopment.
the Detroit downtown. It's
Mm,
beautiful. I
yeah.
mean, that waterfront is popping. And in 2008, 9, 10, 11, they said one company purchased 60. Okay, the downtown Detroit area looked like there was a war in there. 15 years ago. That's when you drove through downtown Detroit, all the stores was empty. Some of them had broken glass. I mean, it just looked horrible. And I'm gonna see. I think it was 2019. Someone told me when I was downtown Detroit totally looked totally different. They say the company purchased 60 to 65% of almost all the empty buildings in downtown Detroit.
Wow.
That was good. That was a lot for nothing. He bought them for nothing because they were looking like nothing.
Wow.
You know, it had very little business down there. It was harboring the homeless, right? And man, just say wow to that.
So yeah, that's just crazy. But this was I think some great information this week for
So I
those
got a
who
question for you.
Sure.
So what would it take to do? So you see a need. The need is there could be a class for just that part of how to acquire and screen for the effort to get a good tenant. What would it take for you to do something like that? And it's a 4 week. That's a 4 week one meet once a day, 4 weeks, and then they can have modules to read, and then you just meet once a week for 4 weeks. Bam! It's a class to teach people how to start selecting tenants. First time, it doesn't matter if it's a first time buyer, mom and pop. They need those documents, and it's a certain process that you got to do to try to eliminate. Like once I did that we grading the character about each one of these rooms that you go be living in. Once I start doing that, I can have no more. We tore your house up.
Right.
Because there's some kind of law that I think it's the one over $100 of damage. I think it's you can move over to felony charges, right? So you got to give that information to them. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm trying to tell you I'm serious. Gonna come after you if you tear my house up.
Right.
I try to give it to you as close to A1 as I can. I'm here to support if you have a problem with anything, but you tear my house up, I am going to be one that's going to try to be putting you in jail. I'm not just trying to get my money back. I'm going to be trying to put your ass in jail.
Right. So to answer that question, Cynthia, so I've been asked to create a training on real estate investing for uh, to get your first property. What's the process? How to renovate it? From an A to Z on that.
That's big. That's a
Yeah,
big. That's a huge
yeah.
chunk. That's a 6 layer cake that you just said.
Right.
But I'm just talking about a little.
Right, and I'm going through that because somebody asked me last week. Actually, that was this week, Monday. That was Monday. I had an hour call Monday with a guy that wants to start group homes. And he was like, "Man, would you just put it all together for me and I'll pay you for it?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. I run my group homes. I got renovations going on. I got children that's always I don't I don't see the time for me to actually sit down to actually create the modules and stuff because my brain is always working. And for me to actually sit down and create that right now, it's gonna be hard. So and I hear what you're saying. It's just it really is like it may take me a week or two to actually put it all together, but it's
It's finding the
and
time.
then what makes me mad about people, I give you the material, I tell you what to do, and you do nothing with it. And,
Okay,
and
so hold that thought right there.
okay.
So this is the difference. you're not giving the material. After you create the material, it's bought. And so what they do with it then is up to them. But
Right.
you're not, it's just like they've learned when they used to give HUD houses away,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they go back to those HUD houses in 3 to 5 years, they tore up. The
Right.
people didn't invest not one dime of their own money.
Mm-hmm.
Not one bit of blood and sacrifice, not the hammer and nail in, none. But
Okay.
they did learn from that, like
Mm-hmm.
habitat, that if the people contribute, they actually put some sweat in it or some finances in it. They take care of those homes. That's my own. This is my own. I help build this,
Right.
right? But to give them nothing, here I'm gonna get this package to you. I don't know what human nature character um uh that the human brain thinks that I got it free so it ain't worthy, you
Right.
know. They give it to me free. I'm gonna look at it, go over it, and learn from it. I'm moving on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm that rare bird that it could be free. It may definitely change my life,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I'm going to utilize it.
So let's do this. Let's take a poll from from everybody out there and see. And I'm gonna pull Cynthia in on this with me since she put me on the hot
Since
spot.
I brought it up.
Let's sit to a poll. How many people out there would want us to actually put together a training for the landlord part of real estate investing? And it's going to have to be some fair housing training modules in there as well, because there's a lot of people that make decisions on their own and they violate fair housing. I hear a lot of people that actually violate fair housing
Mm.
with the discrimination, with just dogs, just taking dogs for an example. People say, even though they say they're a service animal, because everybody now say they got service animals, and you could go online and get a form and say you have a service animal. When
Wow.
you start asking for where's the doctor's uh, information to
Training.
back this up, because normally people just see that form that says this is a service animal that you can get your vet to write. But now when you start asking what's the medical part of it, and there's a way that you have to ask it, because you just can't come out and say I need the medical your medical records, because now you violating fair housing. But if you saying that it's a service animal, your doctor's stuff should paperwork should actually be following that, showing you need a support animal because not telling what you're going through, but your doctor signed off saying that this is a service animal that they agreed to. So it's
Mm.
things like that that you have to put in place to make sure that you're actually following all of the guidelines to make sure you actually running a legit business without getting yourself in any trouble.
Okay, how you getting back to that course?
So so let's do a poll. Let's see how many people would actually want us to create that, and by commenting on this video and letting us know. We do check it and see. So if you comment on it, let us know, and
Hmm.
we'll get back to you next week and let you know what our finding is.
Okay, so how about for the person who could they comment, but how about before the comment they say we want it.
Yeah.
They put we want it. We
Right.
want it.
Right.
And then put the comment that they have we about it, right? We
Okay.
want it. Put the we want it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
So
And so I gotta say, if you are still here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because that'll allow us to continue coming,
right.
continue uh, giving content, sharing our experience. And we're going to have a guest or two soon
Yeah.
um, to talk about their experience and give some content also. And share this with a colleague or two.
Yep. And where can they find you if they want to reach out to you, Cynthia?
I just snuck it on here.
Oh,
IG
okay.
at Cynthia Ware. And my Facebook is the same. And my
Okay.
Facebook is the same. Although I got to figure out, Facebook just did something to my DM that I got a special code or something to be able to do my DM, and it looks like all my past messages that people that I was communicating with, they're gone,
Oh.
right? So Google just got sued for that. Was it Google? Google, I think, Gmail. They just got sued for
Yeah.
locking people out of their Gmails and then eventually eliminating people's Gmails. It was a
Mm.
multi-million-dollar class action suit.
Oh, wow. So
Hmm.
hopefully that you can get that back going soon.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
on all things social media, Donald Torrance. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all of the social media platforms. So if you guys found this helpful, like Cynthia said, share it, comment, all that's help us get pushed out. Until next week, we'll see you again. Bye.
See ya. Thanks for being here. Thanks
Yes,
for being here.
yes.
If you want to hear more stories and tips about real estate, foreclosure, and private lending insights, hit like and subscribe now.